Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you so much for joining me this afternoon and putting your efforts into the 15-minute productivity booster. I will start bang on time because, as I say, I literally want to take no more than 15 minutes of your day. So I will get cracking, and I hope you can all see my screen. I am recording this, so anyone who's registered, anyone who's here live now, I really appreciate that. But I will send you a copy of the recording over the next 24 hours. If you do have any questions, can I just suggest that you put them into the Q&A, and I will come to them at the end. I'll try and keep my eyes on them as I'm going through, but I'm not going to stop and answer questions as I'm going through unless it's quite critical to what I'm talking about. Otherwise, it will just slow me down. So that's what we're here for. My aim is to make you do more. So a couple of you I can see on here know me, and then the vast majority who don't know me. So this is who I am. I'm Rich Hunter Rice, and why am I qualified to do this today? Well, I've got a career of 30 plus years in sales and marketing, experience in all these sectors you can see: retail, hospitality, IT, and management, basically. I took a small IT business from 6 million all the way up to 48.5 million about 6 years ago. And during that process, I managed a team of 125 people. And I'm sure that's going to be no surprise to you. This is where the majority of my skills and productivity came from, because suddenly managing your own diary, managing your own time, and suddenly managing a team of 125, it takes very, very different skills. So this is where my love of productivity came from. I launched Minerva Growth, my business, in 2016, and then subsequently I launched a side business, Minerva Growth Creative, in 2020. And over the 5 years, we've worked with hundreds of businesses across 5 continents, as you can see, all around the world. And yeah, I put my hand up. I am a total productivity geek. I do enjoy this kind of stuff, and I always learning and looking at how I can improve things and make things better. So month on month, this training just gradually keeps getting more and more advanced at the time. So you're very welcome to come back and sit through a future one. So what I want to be asking you now is to start thinking about what your biggest takeaway is from today's session. So I'm going to be asking you at the end just to pop it into the Q&A. I'm always interested to see what those aha moments are and what your biggest takeaway from today's session is. So if you've got a notebook and pen, you're making lots of notes, are great. Make a note and jot down what your biggest takeaway is from this session. So your 3 goals, even from today, are: I want to make you think differently about your own productivity. I want you to focus each week on your time management. It doesn't happen by chance. You do have to put effort in and focus on it. And when you start doing that, you'll notice it improves very, very quickly. And third and finally, I want to empower you to take positive action. And this is how you will improve your productivity pretty quickly. One of my favorite sayings for the last 12, 18 months has been knowledge isn't power. It's the application of knowledge that is the power. So what I want you to think about is there's no point sitting here for the next 13 minutes and doing nothing with the information. The only way you're going to improve your productivity is by doing something with the strategies that I covered this afternoon. So I hope that resonates with you as well. So let me hit me some productivity stats to get you going. The average employee is only productive for 2 hours and 53 minutes of every day. So just think about that. Say 3 hours. If you are working an average day, 8, 9, maybe 10 hours, if you're only productive for 3 hours of that, and it is less than that, the rest of the time is completely wasted. So that's how bad our productivity is. Multitasking can hurt your productivity by anything up to 40%. This old fallacy about you need to be multitasking to be more productive is complete nonsense. 54% of workers right now are reporting that they are less productive than they were at the beginning of 2020. I think the picture there in front of you, we can all put our hands up and say we've been in that situation over the last 18 months, 2 years. Working remotely, you can see the guy's working in an open space. He might have family around him as well. He's trying to do stuff on his laptop. He's on the phone at the same time. So it's no surprise that these 54% of people, the majority of people, are reporting that productivity has dropped. So just to confirm, we're on the same page. Productivity, the definition of productivity from the Oxford Language Dictionary is the state or quality of being productive. And then the definition for time management is the ability to use one's times effectively or productively, and especially at work. So I'm going to hit you quite a lot of strategies over the next 11 minutes. We're going to go through quite a lot of information. The key for everything is everyone out there is an expert on productivity. Everyone can tell you how to do stuff better. But what really works for me is finding what works for you. There's not going to be two of us out there who are work the same. So it's finding the things and trying the things that work for you, testing things out, and see how you get on from there. So number one, email. I'm sure it's no surprise to you that email is the biggest distraction for all of us. So the most important thing, which is why it's in capitals, I hate using capitals, but it's the most important thing, is just don't sit in your inbox. That means don't have Outlook or Gmail or whatever you're using, iMail open on your screen and just sit in it all day, as you'll never get anything done. It's a constant fighting battle because you're trying to get those emails read. So many people I see are trying to create their to-do list from their inbox, and then they wonder why they struggle when they've got 10, 12,000 emails in their inbox. It's just absolutely impossible task. So just don't sit in your inbox. Also, don't check your email first thing in the morning. Everyone comes in the same, does the same activity, same routine every single day. So you log in at 8 o'clock, 9 o'clock, whatever time it is that you start working. First thing you do is open your inbox and start checking your email. You then send an email back to me. I've sent an email to John, Johnson's email back to me, and then suddenly there's 3 or 4 emails gone back and forth, and I've got nothing else done, but we just responded to one email, and everyone does exactly the same thing. Try inbox zero. So inbox zero, if you've never heard of the term before, means basically having 0 emails in your inbox. Quite clever, as the title suggests. Um, it freaks a lot of people out, and I think the worst number of emails I've had on one of these sessions in the last 3 months was something like 46,000 emails someone had in their inbox. That person has now gone down to inbox zero. It has taken about 10 weeks, and it has taken a number of assistants to get them there, but and I'll explain the reasons why you want to be working from inbox zero. So what you do instead is you go through your inbox, and if if you can tackle that email in less than 20 seconds, say 30 seconds, then respond to it there and then. Otherwise, put it into a folder, and then you work from those folders. And again, I'll show you what folders I recommend you work from. Also have an out of office message on. Anyone who's emailed me in the last probably 10 years, or maybe a little bit more than that now, will know I've always got a permanent out of office message on there. And again, I'll show you what this says. Set times that you're going to check email every single day. And I always recommend that you don't check your emails till maybe the earliest is maybe 10:30, 11 o'clock in the morning. And then you check them again before you turn off at maybe 4 o'clock. The reason being, everyone comes into work checking their emails. By the time you hit your inbox at 11 o'clock, they would have gone through their emails, sent everything out, and then they've started their daily routine, get on with the actual work that they're meant to be doing. There'll be meetings, there'll be telephone calls, Zoom calls, no doubt, based on where we are today. So then when you hit your inbox and you start bashing these emails out and clearing them out really, really quickly, you'll find you're getting fewer back and forth to you. So I always recommend anyone uses 11 o'clock and 4 o'clock. And then manage expectations. So what I mean by that is if you are only going to check your emails at those 2 times every day, you need to manage expectations of people around you. If you are fortunate enough to be your own boss, then you need to make sure that your clients know, or anyone who's expecting stuff from you understands what's going to happen. And again, I'll show you my out of office message, but I've always found that people come around to it quite quickly if you explain to them the reasons why. But if someone's expected a response damn quickly and they're not going to get it for 3 or 4 hours, then they might be a little bit upset with you. I don't know where we've all got this expectation that we have a response to emails in seconds. So next thing I'm going to talk to you about is batching. So batching, the definition of batching is to arrange things in sets or groups. So batching is a term I learned back in the late 2000s, about 2007, and a book from Tim Ferriss, The 4-Hour Workweek. If you haven't read it as yet, I highly recommend that you get that access to that book. It's just a very, very good read. It's on a latest edition. It's not very expensive at all. But basically what we mean by batching is, rather than doing checking your emails one at a time, going through, is you're batching your email, you're hitting them all at one go. So you may find that by having your inbox open all day, you never actually get through your emails. When you start batching it and hitting it at intense periods of time, you'll get your whole inbox clear in about 20 minutes, maybe half an hour, depending on how many emails you get through. And an easy way to think about batching is if you're washing clothes, you wouldn't just wash, I want this t-shirt for tomorrow. I wouldn't just put this t-shirt in the washing machine by itself. I'd put a whole batch of darks, color washing in there and wash them all together. So it'll be cheaper, more cost effective and save me time in the long run. So that's what batching is all about. So there's an example of inbox zero from my inbox. As you can see on the left-hand side, I'm a Mac user, so I use a tool called Spark, which is a very good email client. And I'm happy to talk to anyone about that if you're a Mac user, not quite a Windows as yet, but due to be out in the next 12 months. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 email accounts on there and completely nothing in my inbox at all. I find it much less stressy. I don't stress about it and everything is worked for me in folders. So what folders do I suggest to you that you use? I always recommend using Action. So any email that you get, and it's going to take you more than 30 seconds to deal with, pop it in the Action, and that means you've got to action that email at a later stage, and then allocate time on a daily basis to go for your action file, and that will make your life much more productive. Have a file to read, so you can't deal with it in your inbox. Pop it in your read folder, and I would say maybe the first thing in the morning is come in and just clear through the read or get through it once a week, whatever works for you, but it's finding that balance. If you are lucky to have people that report to you or people you can pass work out to, have a folder called Delegate. And again, it's an easy way of following up and making sure the work's being done for you. Have a folder called Useful, and this is for anything, as it says on the tin, that's going to be useful to you at a later stage. Or the other one they recommend is having a folder called Someday. This is something you don't need right now, something you don't want in your inbox. You don't need to action it, you don't want to read it, you don't need to delegate it, or it's not going to be useful, but you may want it someday, so pop it in the Someday folder. So out of office message, I've mentioned a few times, the out of office message I use is very, very similar to this. It's high or due to other commitments. I'm checking email no more than twice a week. If it is truly urgent, which you cannot wait a few days, please call me. Otherwise, thank you for waiting until we get back to the inbox. Many thanks, Rich. So it's very personal. It's explaining exactly what happens. And I've been doing it for such a long time now, I never get any queries about it at all. So that's email. Tackled email. Email by far the worst. Let's hit mobile phones next. The average person touches, swipes, or clicks their phone 2,617 times a day, whilst the top 10 users of smartphones would do it almost 5,500 times. Absolutely crazy. The average user spends 171 minutes every day on their smartphone. So if you think about it, we're only productive for less than 3 hours, and actually 171 minutes we're on our smartphones as well. So you can suddenly get the picture very, very quickly why we're not productive. And if you count that over the course of a year, that's 62,415 minutes, which is something like 41 days, I think I've worked it out to be. So it is horrifying. 70% of all workers keep their phone within eye contact while they're working. And I'm sure you're sat there now, wherever you are, home, in the office. And if you put your hand up and you've got the phone in front of you, I would expect to see most of the hands are up. The biggest problem in mobile phones are it takes you on average 23 minutes to refocus after you've had a distraction to get back to that deep level of work that you were previously. And this is on average. So some people will be worse, some people will be less. But if you think every time you get distracted, the phone beeps, you get a text come through, a WhatsApp message, it's going to take you 23 minutes to get back to the level of focus you had before. This is why we're struggling productively. So what's the answer? I am an iPhone user. I apologize. I don't use Android or anything else. I am led to believe there are similar functionality on Androids, but I'm just showing you what I do on iPhone. So what I like about iPhones are they've got the notifications. So you can go individually to apps and turn off all the notifications. But the most powerful thing you've got is Do Not Disturb, which is here. And then you can see at the time, my phone was on Do Not Disturb from 9 o'clock at night till 7:15 in the morning. I do also use Disturb maybe for a few hours during the day, and that means nothing happens on my phone. I get no sounds. And because I'm a Mac user for hours, it works on my iPad and also a MacBook as well. The other thing to think about is WhatsApp. WhatsApp is very fast taking over to be a real productivity killer. So you may want to have your notifications turned off on that. And if you've got certain busy groups, everyone seems to love a good WhatsApp group, is you can make those groups silent. I can get anywhere from 60 to 100 different conversations going on per day. And that's not messages, that is conversations. And each one of those conversations might have 10 messages in it. So again, I tend to batch it and I hit my WhatsApp 2 or 3 times a day rather than having it open all day. Right, in the last minute, I'm going to cover your calendar. So Use one calendar for everything. Don't have a separate calendar or multiple work calendars, a personal calendar, a family calendar, everything else, because you can only do one thing at a time. So have one calendar, as you can see there, and everything is in there. I schedule minutes for 45 minutes. I don't know why we all think we've got to do 60-minute meetings, but if you can get away 45 minutes and you're saving yourself 15 minutes, maybe have a quick break, get away from the screen, go and have a walk, get some fresh air, make yourself a hot drink, and you'll find you keep productive for longer. Block out time in your calendar to get deep work done. So many people don't actually do this, and they do back-to-back meetings, and suddenly they realize they're working late into the night over the weekend, so they're not getting the deep work done that they're actually paid for. Always review your next day's schedule. The last thing you do at the end of the day before you turn off is look at what your schedule is. We don't want any surprises. Make sure everyone's confirmed the meetings and there's nothing you've got to do for any of these meetings. And then also set your to-do list before you switch off at night, because that way it puts stress on you, whether you notice it or not, on your brain, having to think about trying to remember stuff for the next day when you turn on your laptop, your computer, whatever you do, get into the office. So always check your schedule and set your to-do list so you're ready when you turn on in the morning, hit the ground running. I've already mentioned that. Have one calendar for everything. And then schedule regular breaks. I'm a firm believer in 45 minutes work, 10-minute break, 45 minutes work, 10-minute break. Some people like 25 minutes and 5 minutes. Find the balance that works for you. And then the final thing I'll talk about is unsolicited telephone calls. That's down to you. I tend to find that I have scheduled time on my calendar where people know they can call me. Outside of that, I don't take unsolicited calls. So if they're not scheduled, they just won't come through to me. I am at 15 minutes. I will spend another minute or so going a bit further, and I will do some quick Q&A if anyone has any questions. Meeting best practice are to set your meeting times as concise as you can get away with, as I already mentioned. Research shows that your attention span only lasts between 10 to 18 minutes. So if you think about it, it takes you 23 minutes to get back to that deep level of work, and then you're at the best, your attention's only for 18 minutes. So again, you can start to see this picture why productivity is so bad. Set a time and day, or set a time and day for meetings. The holy grail is to say every Wednesday, for example, I'm going to do all my Zoom meetings or my face-to-face meetings. If you can't get away with doing that, is maybe start off by saying, I'm going to do 1 day per week. I'm not going to have any meetings at all. And that will make you ridiculously productive. You can get that deep work done with less distractions. Or if you're unable to get away the whole day, it's maybe have half a day. Friday afternoons, no meetings at all. That I can finish off my work. Always prepare a meeting agenda in advance. My rule is if I haven't got a meeting agenda, I just don't do it. Limit the attendees. Why do you need to have so many people in the meeting? If they've got nothing to add, don't invite them to the meeting. You've set the agenda, so now stick to it, and always end the meeting with action. So the person, to me, who sets the agenda is the person in charge of the meeting, and they need to follow up and confirm what everyone's actions are and what people's next steps are and expectations. And then think about your meeting location. The world's changed dramatically over the last 18 months with Zoom, as we are on here today. But what about face-to-face meetings, coffee shop, go for a walk? There's so many ways you can meet now rather than have to be sat around a boardroom table at the same location. And the very last thing I'm going to talk about is your weekly review. I highly recommend this. I've been doing this now for about 5 years, and it really, really works. I allocate an hour at the end of my week to review the past week. I then think about and look at what tasks or actions are outstanding I need to work on. And then I look ahead for the next couple of weeks. And again, I'm looking to confirm meetings, make sure everything's firmed up and there's going to be no surprises. And that's it. So 2 minutes over. I do apologize. If you enjoyed that and you got value from that, there is a longer course, which is 80 minutes, and that's the exceptional business productivity. The next one, if you head over for the details, go to that website and you'll see all the details. It's literally a flat fee of 49 quid. And there's tons more value. If you thought you've had good value for the last 15 minutes or so, trust me, there's a heck of a lot more we can cover in the next 80 minutes or so. The next course, they are always live, and I believe it's next Wednesday, but check on the website and it will tell you, confirm that for you. And then the very last thing, I've been publicizing this a heck of a lot, is we are giving away, we've got a brand new one-to-one business coaching package called Minerva Growth Momentum, which is launched this week to celebrate our 5th birthday as a business. And tomorrow at 8 p.m. in the UK, I am selecting one person completely randomly to win 8 weeks of one-to-one coaching, which is, as you can see, valued at just under £1,600. If you are interested, hit that link up. I will share it with you all later via email, and or there's 50 seats, so it's first come, first serve, 50 tickets. That link will take you to Eventbrite, register your details, pop your details in, and then tomorrow at 8 o'clock, I'll be doing that draw. So what I would love to see from you all now in the chat or in the Q&A is tell me what your biggest takeaway is. What's the biggest aha that you've had from this session? I would love to hear. So a couple of questions I've got while you're all doing that. So, have I seen my business grown as a direct result of being more productive and time efficient? Absolutely. I find that I get a heck of a lot more done on a daily basis. I am able to get more done into my diary. I often get comments from people that I seem to get loads done, always busy, but that way I am absolutely available or able to get more done. So yeah, it does have a massive impact. This is the kind of stuff I've been working on now for about 15 years or so, and it's definitely making a difference. Cool. Okay. So email folders, yeah, cool. If I'm honest with you, the email folders now I've stopped using because I'm using this Spark product that I can just use one inbox, but you can have things like snooze, you can archive emails. It's got really good search functionality on there, which means I just don't find I don't need to put stuff in folders anymore. I can skim through very, very quickly, checking my emails once or twice a week, and I can actually smash that out. And yeah, inbox zero, I'm a firm believer of that. That comes from the philosophy about GTD or getting things done. And again, I'm a massive advocate of it. And I get stressed when I hear people talking about the volume of emails I've got and unread emails. I think someone last time who might be on this call again, but I can't see, had 225 unread emails from that week. I mean, that's just, there could be clients, there could be your next big order in there. So why you wouldn't be reading emails, I just don't know. Order, thorough planning, email folders, and phone distractions. Absolutely. Cool. Well, I love it. Well, I hope you all got some value from that today. As I say, I will get the recording edited. I will share it out in the next 24 hours. Might be a little bit quicker, see how we're doing first thing in the morning. But I highly recommend going back and watching it time and time again and just breaking it down to bite-sized chunks. But you get access to it forevermore. I'm not going to turn it off, so you can go back to your recording in a year's time, 6 months, and just make sure, refresh. And productivity, to make it better, means you've got to keep working at it. So just keep working at it, going back and yeah, just seeing how far you can take it. But any other questions? I'll give you a couple of minutes if you got any more. There we are. I did say 15 minutes, 22 minutes past, including Q&A is not too bad. Guys, I will make sure you've all got my email, my details. You can be very welcome to email me or take this offline, have a conversation with you. I will put a conversation in with you all over the next week or so and just see to make sure that you are implementing the stuff you've learned from today, because as I say, it's not knowledge is power, it's the implementation of the knowledge that you've learned. That is where the power really is. So make sure you're doing something now and start thinking about your productivity. Thank you all very much. I wish you a great rest of the day. Thank you for your support, as always.